Okay, everybody, we are going to talk today about improper fractions and changing them into mixed numbers. So, same notes as before, just to kind of remind us of our definitions. We have a proper fraction, which is where our numerator is smaller than our denominator. An improper fraction, where our numerator is larger than our denominator. And then we also have a mixed number. And the mixed number, if we remember from yesterday, is where you have a whole number and a proper fraction next to it. So after that, that's just our definitions to get us going. And now we're going to talk about getting into some improper fractions. So if we have, let's say we have a fraction. Let's draw a fraction. Oh my gosh, my marker's dying on me here. So let's say we're going to deal with fourths with this. So if I have fourths, and I'm going to shade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these parts. So if I have 7, and these are fourths, so 7 fourths equals, and now when I look at these parts put together in this form, we would have 1 whole, and then we have 1, 2, 3 fourths that don't fit inside that whole. Okay, so I have 1 whole and 3 fourths, so 1 and 3 fourths. So this is sort of the way that we can model it with manipulatives and drawings. And now we're going to get good old Math Baby back in here. Can't remember which student a while ago named him Math Baby, but here's Math Baby. This little sprout of hair up at the top. And Math Baby is thinking about our steps here. Okay, so Math Baby, we're going to have step number 1. So step 1 is you're going to be thinking in your head, how many times can the denominator go into the numerator? Okay, so we're thinking division in this step. Okay, so how many whole times, and honestly, actually, I want to change my wording here. How many whole times, because this is going to be our whole, can the denominator go into the numerator? Okay, and then step 2 is going to be how many are left over. How many are left over? And then step 3, you're going to keep the denominator the same. Okay, so as we go through this, we're gonna do this. We're gonna look at this problem and go through these steps just to kind of show you how and why this works. So if we think about this step number 1, how many times will 4 go into 7? Okay, so Math Baby is thinking 7 divided by 4 equals what? Okay, so in this case, this is going to be your whole number in your fraction. So 7 divided by 4 is 1 whole, so it equals 1, with how many left over? There are 3 left over. So if we think about our problem up here, 7 divided by 4 is 1 remainder 3. So our whole number, so it goes in one whole time, so that's our whole number, and then how many are left over, that's our remainder. And so this is going to be our numerator over here. So there are 3 left over, and our denominator stays the same. And so I have 4. Okay, so that's how we can kind of go through without drawing all of this and using our math and computation skills to get us to our mixed number. So 7 divided by 4 is 1 with 3 left over. So we're going to have 1 3/4. Okay, do you see where my numbers come from? Okay, let's do some sample problems. Now, it does involve division. Maybe I should make my division sign kind of big here, right? Because you are going to be dividing to try to figure this stuff out. So let's do some sample problems. How about 36? Nope, not 36. Sorry, let's do 37 so we have a remainder. 37/9. You see that as the glare on there? Yep. 37/9. Okay, so we're thinking in our head, how many times can 9 go into 37? It goes in 4 whole times, because 9 times 4 is 36, and there is 1 left over, and my denominator remains the same. Okay, let's try another one. Let's do... I want to do one that we don't have to reduce quite yet. So let's do 23 over 4. So 23/4. So how many times will 4 go into 23? It goes in 5 times. Good. And then how many are left over? 4 times 5 is 20. So there are 3 left over, and my denominator remains the same. Okay. Let's try another one. How about 43/6? Okay, how many times will 6 go into 43? It goes in 7 whole times. And how many are left over? We know that 6 times 7 is 42, so there is 1 left over, and my denominator remains the same. Okay, let's try one more. How about, and then we'll do some that we have to actually reduce with, which we'll talk about in just a second. Let's do 11/3. Okay, so how many times will 3 go into 11? 3 times 3 is 9, so it goes into it 3 whole times. And how many are left over? 3 times 3 is 9. There are 2 left over, and my denominator remains the same. Okay, so those are mixed numbers from improper fractions. And with this, we didn't have to reduce at all. I'm going to show you a couple where we would use our skills of reducing to actually reduce these down. So let's do 58 over 8. I want my equal sign down a little lower. Okay, so how many times will 8 go into 58? Oh, gosh, all over the place here. It goes in 7 whole times. And I know that 8 times 7 is 56, so there are 2 left over, and my denominator remains the same. Now, if I look at that fraction, 7 2/8. My 2/8 is not in lowest terms, so I do need to reduce this. So my whole number will remain the same, and then I can just reduce 2/8 the way that we did with reducing fractions. Both of those are even, so I can reduce that down to 7 1/4. Okay? Let's do another one. How about 62/10? Okay, how many times will 10 go into 62? It goes in 6 whole times. 6 times 10 is 60, so there are 2 left over, and my denominator remains the same. So now I'm not done yet because 2/10 is not in lowest terms. So I can divide by 2 and I end up with, oh, I forgot to write my whole number. My 6 goes first, and then I can divide the 2/10 by 2 and I get 6 1/5. All right, let's try another one. How about 60/8? Okay, so how many times will 8 go into 60? It goes in 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56, so there are 4 left over, and my denominator remains the same. Now I'm going to reduce this because 4/8 is not in lowest terms. Both of these are divisible by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I get 7.5. Okay, so that is fractions and mixed numbers. We are done with our video. So if you could hop back to Google Classroom, check out the board notes, and complete your worksheet and your fast check. When you're done with that, just submit that, and I will be around for optional office hours, and there's also optional work posted on Google Classroom if you are looking for more to do. Otherwise, until then, I'll see you later. Bye, guys.